Hey guys, and welcome to episode 20 of the Game Gengo JLPT N3 Grammar series. In this video, we're going to be covering some very important pieces of grammar: ni chigai nai, ni hanshite, ni kakete, and ni kansuru. If you like this kind of video and enjoy learning Japanese with video games, then come join us on the Game Gengo Discord community on Patreon. Some of these pieces of grammar are a little bit tricky to get your head around, so it's definitely a very useful lesson today. So, without further ado, let's get started.
未来まさか
ゲートが反応したということは15人の1人に違いない。
Ni chigai nai. A very straightforward piece of grammar to express that you are very certain of something. There is no mistake, without a doubt. If we were to break it apart, chigai means a mistake and nai means there isn't. So, literally, there is no mistake. And whatever you're talking about there is no mistake in, you need to mark it here with the ni particle. So if something is absolutely without mistake delicious, you could say oishii ni chigai nai. It's definitely delicious. If something is definitely fun, it's without a doubt something that's fun to do, you could say tanoshii ni chigai nai. So like seen here in 13 Sentinels, there is no mistaking that you are one of the 15 people. So this piece of grammar is used when you're very certain of something. You're expressing that there is no mistake, it has to be this way. There is no mistaking, you must be one of the 15 people.
そこにはとても怪しい形の建物がありました。博士はここに入っていったに違いない。
So like seen here in Crayon Shinchan Natsuyasumi, we can see there is no doubt the professor went in there. So in the first example, it was following a noun ni chigai nai, and here it's following a verb, haiteita ni chigai nai. There's no doubt that he went in there.
犯人の盗撮用カメラだ。物質を荒らした変質者が仕掛けたものに違いない。
I'm certain this is something they set up, here referring to a secret camera.
きっとそれが女性をさらっている鬼に違いない。
Surely that must be the demon that kidnapped this woman. So there's no mistaking that it is a demon. Oni ni chigai nai. And what kind of demon? Everything that comes before. The demon that kidnapped the woman. There's no mistake.
これはこの水晶は確かに昔わしが持っていたものに違いないが、ここに小さな傷のようなものがあるぞ。
And finally here, there is no mistaking that I once had this crystal, however. So this is a really simple piece of grammar. Just follow whatever you want to talk about, whether it's a noun or a verb or an adjective. Just follow it with ni chigai nai to express that you have absolutely no doubt that something is a certain way. There's no doubt that this is fun. There's no doubt that you're one of the 15 people. There's no doubt that he went in there. There's no doubt that that degenerate is the one who set it up in here. There's no doubt that it must be the demon that kidnapped the woman. And there's no doubt that I once had this crystal ball, however. Something ni chigai nai.
倒せる倒せないの問題ではないのです。教えに反することが問題なのです。
Ni hansuru or ni hanshite. So another piece of grammar here using the ni particle to mark what you're talking about, and here it's using hansuru, the verb to be contrary to or to oppose something. So opposing whatever is marked by the ni particle. And this expresses that whatever the noun that's following ni hansuru is expressing that it is against that noun or contrary to that noun. For example, if something was contrary to reality or contrary to the facts, you could say jijitsu ni hansuru. It's contrary to reality. So like here in Final Fantasy X, a really core theme of this game is the teachings of Yevon. Well, here the girl is saying it's not a problem of whether you can beat them or not, the problem is going against the teachings. So the noun here is oshie for teachings. Oshie ni hansuru koto, the thing of going against the teachings of this kind of religious group. So it's expressing that here going against the teachings is a problem. So this going against is the ni hansuru.
レボンの教えに反する作戦止めないとまずくないっすか？
So again, we see the operation that goes against the teachings. So 教えに反する作戦。
お前は私欲のためにフォースを使っている。ジェダイの理念に反する行為。
今は暗黒の時代だ。
Or like here in Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, using the Force for your own personal gain, that is behavior that goes against the Jedi ideals. So Jedi no Rinen is the Jedi ideals, ni hansuru is to go against those ideals, and then koi is actions. So they are actions that go against the Jedi ideals.
今回のメミヤ君も本人の意思に反して戦わされています。
Here, someone is being made to fight against his own will. So ishi ni hanshite, against his will.
非常に申し訳ないが規則に反して連れ帰るのはベビーメトロイドだけにしてくれないかね。
A very common use of nihansuru is to go against something like a rule or regulation. Here with kisoku nihanshite, so against the rules.
バクラム軍はそのままアルモリカへ進軍すると思われたが、予想に反して一向に動く気配を見せなかった。
Another really common use of nihansuru is to go against someone's expectations. So here, yoso nihanshite, going against what you would expect. He actually showed no sign of moving. So you would have expected him to move his forces, but contrary to those expectations, yoso nihanshite, he didn't. He showed no sign of moving. So you often see nihansuru connected to a noun that expresses either thoughts, expectations, or will, as well as rules and laws. And nihansuru and nihanshite is just a difference between a verb and the te form. However, just know that if you want to connect two nouns together, you need to use nihansuru in between those two nouns. Or when you want to follow with a verb, you need to use nihanshite. Like we saw in Star Wars, rinen nihansuru koi. So we have two nouns here, and in between we have nihansuru to go against. So it is an action that goes against the ideals. However, when you follow with a verb, like here in Megaton Musashi, you need to use nihanshite and then follow it with the verb. The reason why is because the te form acts as almost like a comma. You do the first action and then the next. That's why it needs to be here in the te form. So ishi nihanshite, going against his will, he was made to fight. We have two actions here. That's why it needs to be in the te form. Whereas suru modifies the noun, what type of noun it is. That's why it needs to be in the suru form. So nihansuru means to go against something, contrary to. Going against the teachings, contrary to those teachings. Going against the Jedi ideals. Being made to fight against his will. Something being against the rules, contrary to the rules. Or something being contrary or against one's expectations. Nihansuru is to express being contrary to or being against something.
女性というのは異性を選ぶお眼鏡にかけては男の比じゃないらしいですよ。
にかけて. This is a very confusing piece of grammar for a lot of people because kakeru is a very widely used piece of language that means a lot of different things. So let's keep it as simple as possible. If you remember, we've actually previously seen kara ni kakete as a way of expressing over a period of something.
これが日曜日から月曜日の未明にかけての出来事。
夕べの7時から9時ぐらいにかけてお前は何をしていた?
Like seen here in AI Somnium, the events that happened between Sunday and Monday. Or what did you do between 7 o'clock and 9 o'clock? So the kara ni kakete can express a duration of something. However, this next use of ni kakete is actually talking about concerning or regarding something, a completely different meaning.
女性というのは異性を選ぶお眼鏡にかけては男の比じゃないらしいですよ。
This often is seen as nikakete wa or nikakete mo. Here, the nikakete or nikakete wa is actually expressing concerning, regarding. It's very similar to ni tsuite, regarding something. as well as another piece of language we're going to see in this video, ni kanshite. However, here, ni kakete is actually a relatively rare piece of language. It's not used too often. And what it means is regarding something, ni kakete wa, actually is kind of more comparing something. Like for example, undo wa dekinai ga, I can't do any kind of physical activity, however, benkyou ni kakete wa kurasu de ichiban da. However, when it comes to study, I'm number one in the class. So this ni kakete wa is expressing regarding. However, there's this slight nuance where you're actually comparing something. Here I'm comparing that I may be bad at like physical activities, but I'm really good at studying. So the thing that follows ni kakete wa is often expressing some ability that is superior to the thing that came before. When used, the following part often has some expressions like dare ni mo makenai, I won't lose to anyone, or jishin ga aru, I have confidence, or sugureteiru, I am superior in, I'm very good at, or ichiban da, I'm number one. So like here in Catherine, regarding your judgment selecting the opposite sex. So here we can already see the noun that comes before ni kakete wa is what we're talking about. Regarding that, your judgment. Regarding that, and then the following thing will be some sort of comparison. It's not as good as men. So here it's no comparison to men.
獣王のことと希望奇形にかけては赤城にかなうものなどこの世におらぬからな。
Or like here in Azure Lane, regarding the Sakura Islands and the Kibo Kike, nothing in the world can match Akagi. So the final thing is expressing that comparing to anything else, this is what's the best. Let's say for example you're such a pro gamer that no one in the world could beat you. Well, you could say, Watashi wa geimu ni kakete wa dare ni mo makenai. So as for me, regarding games, I won't lose to anyone. So you can see that this ni kakete wa has some sort of feeling of comparing yourself to others. So it does hold the meaning of regarding, but just know it has this kind of competitive comparison element to it. And that's perhaps one reason why it's not used so often. Because if you simply wanted to say regarding something, you could use ni tsuite, or the next piece of grammar, ni kanshite. Now, just a quick thing before we move on. This isn't in the JLPT, but this is very useful language that you will see often. Ni kakete also has a third definition, which expresses that you swear on something. On my name, on my honor. And this is a really common piece of language that you'll see in video games and media all over the place. So it's definitely worth keeping your eye out for and not getting confused by.
あなたを助けると約束したからには誇りにかけて必ず果たす。
So like here in Fire Emblem, I will accomplish it with pride. So on my pride, I will accomplish it.
信じられませんな。
歌うたいの名にかけて約束しよう。
信じられませんな。
Or here, in the name of Internas, I promise you. So she's swearing on her name.
紳士として君の実の父ブランド氏の名誉にかけて誓ってくれ。
Or like in JoJo, on the honor of your father's name, swear to me.
もちろんです我が。この花にかけて我が忠誠は永遠に変わりません。
Or like here in Triangle Strategy, I swear on this flower, my allegiance will never change. So just know that this use of ni kakete doesn't mean regarding, it isn't talking about a period of time, it's expressing to swear on something. However, this piece of grammar that we're looking at the N3 level, ni kakete wa or ni kakete mo, or sometimes just simply ni kakete, is expressing regarding something, but you are kind of comparing. Regarding women's judgment selecting the opposite sex, it's not as good as men. Regarding these things, nothing in the world can match Akagi. However, just know it is quite rare. In fact, I can only find these 2 examples in over 150 video games. This is quite rare, this piece of language. What's a much more natural piece of Japanese to use is the following piece of grammar, ni kanshite.
もしかしたら何か遥かに関する情報が見つかるかもしれない。
Ni kansuru or ni kanshite. Here we have a very natural piece of language to use, much more natural than ni kakete, and this is expressing regarding or concerning something. This is the same piece of language as ni tsuite, however it's a little bit more formal. You'll often see ni kanshite used in written language or in a little bit more formal situations. But it can be used in normal speech as well. A very useful piece of grammar. Kind of think of it like the difference between about and regarding in English. Ni tsuite is a pretty common piece of grammar to say about something. Ichiban suki na game ni tsuite hanashite kudasai. Please talk about your favorite game. About is a pretty common translation for ni tsuite. However, ni kanshite is a little bit more like regarding. See how it has a little bit more of a formal feel to it. You can use it in casual speech, but you'll more likely see it in written language and formal situations. However, they're very similar in the way that they mean. And you could translate ni kansuru as about as well, but just know that regarding is quite a useful way of looking at it because it helps you remember that it is a little bit more formal feel to it. So like here in Yakuza 6, maybe we can find some information about Haruka. So here the about translation is used. You could say maybe we can find some information regarding Haruka. That's also totally fine. Simply put whatever you're talking about or whatever you're talking regarding, follow that with ni kansuru or ni kanshite. Here about Haruka, the girl that they're looking for. Haruka ni kansuru jouhou. Information about the girl we're looking for. Haruka.
彼女に関して今の私に何か言う資格はない。
彼女に関して. So regarding her, I'm not qualified to say anything. Ni kanshite could also be kind of translated as relating to or as far as dun 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 is concerned.
死に関する魔法が載っているとか。
Here, regarding death. 死に関する魔法. So magic that regards death.
野球に関しちゃ真面目なんじゃなかったのか?
Wasn't he serious about baseball? So, yaku ni kanshite. Here, we can see very clearly that this is a more casual situation, as he's even contracted ni kanshite as ni kanshicha. So quite a casual way of talking. So as you can see, it's not restricted to only formal situations. You can definitely use this to express talking about regarding something or about something. Here, about baseball.
それまでに囚われた仲間たちと接触し、女王の居場所に関する情報を得なくてはならない。
Or like here in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, to get information regarding the Queen's whereabouts. So, ibasho ni kansuru jouhou. Information about the whereabouts. Again, we can see it being used with jouhou, so very interesting. Information regarding.
早速だけど、ソラ君。君に関する興味深いデータがアンセムコードから解析されたんだ。
俺に関すること?
And finally, here in Kingdom Hearts 3, I found some very interesting data regarding you. Kimi ni kansuru kyomibukai data. So again, regarding or about. Whatever you're talking about regarding you, you just follow that with ni kansuru. Kimi, you. Kimi ni kansuru, regarding you. Yaku, baseball. Yaku ni kansuru, regarding baseball. Kanojo, her. Kanojo ni kanshite, regarding her. Or she, death. Shi ni kansuru, regarding death. So a pretty straightforward piece of language. Ni kansuru just means regarding something. You can use it both with ni kansuru or ni kanshite. And you'll also sometimes see it as
通信システムに関してはメイリンが詳しい。彼女に説明してもらおう。
ni kanshite wa. As for regarding dun dun dun. This is a very common piece of language that you'll see a lot in Japanese, so definitely get used to this one. And there we have it, the next 4 pieces of N3 grammar. Ni chigainai. There's no doubt that, I'm certain of something. Ni hanshite, contrary to something or against something, often used with rules and regulations. Ni kakete, which can be used with kara ni kakete, over a period, or ni kakete, to swear on. But here, ni kakete or ni kakete wa, ni kakete mo, this is used to express concerning or regarding something, especially when you're kind of comparing it with something else. Regarding this, no one is better than me at games. Geimu ni kakete wa, dare ni mo makenai. I won't lose to anyone when it comes to games. And finally, ni kansuru or ni kanshite as the very commonly used piece of language to express regarding something or about something. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Very useful pieces of grammar in this one. Hope you guys had fun. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and come join us on the Game Gengo Discord community. I'm going to be making a lot of videos this year, so I hope you guys enjoy everything that's coming. Thank you so much, guys, for watching, and as always, I'll see you all again in the next video. See ya.